Hello there and welcome to bnetTV.com. I'm Michelle Sklar. We're here at the Mobile Marketing Association's forum in Los Angeles. I'm joined by Steve Shivers of OpenMarket. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today. Why don't you tell us about OpenMarket? What does your company do?
Sure. OpenMarket is a business unit of Amdocs, and Amdocs is a global technology and service provider to telecom. What OpenMarket does specifically is focus on how do you help direct-to-consumer merchants sell their content and digital assets across any network operator and make not only the delivery of the content but also the financial processing of the payment into the operator billing system the most efficient it can be. So in the role of the market today, we fit the role of the aggregator.
Okay.
Merchants plug into us, and then we are the distribution network that they use to connect to all the U.S. operators. We have the broadest direct connections in the U.S. market, reaching about 98% of all U.S. mobile subscribers to the operators we directly connect to.
My next question for you, Steve, is if you could tell us a little bit about your business model,
Sure.
How you sort of came into the space, if you
Right.
will, and what your sort of goals
Why
are.
we're different.
Why you're different.
Why does the world need an open market? Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, OpenMarket was founded, really incubated out of our business because we recognize that the off-deck commerce space has a number of very unique challenges and problems, and specifically that the SMS aggregation model, as it's worked so far, is really very structurally broken. It doesn't work for merchants, it doesn't work for operators. Examples of that are today in the off-deck commerce space, about 3 out of every 10 transactions fail to bill correctly. And that means lost revenue for merchants, it's lost revenue for our operators. 15% or more of all off-deck transactions result in a customer care event. That's really a huge cost burden for operators to manage that. So when you compare how digital commerce works in the mobile space for off-deck to how it works in the e-commerce space with credit card processing, there's a huge gap.
Right.
And in order for this market to achieve its potential, we think that financial processing foundation has to be in place first and foremost. That's OpenMarket's role. So we're specifically trying to replace legacy SMS aggregation with a purpose-built mobile financial processing infrastructure that works much better and much more profitably for both operators and for merchants.
Okay. So certainly you've talked about where you see the need for
Sure.
what you're bringing to the market. But how are you gaining, I guess, sort of the critical mass? How are you
Sure.
actually gaining the, okay, yes, we want to work with this particular company, it makes sense?
Sure. Well, I think if you talk to almost any merchant in the space today, they'll be pretty candid about the number of frustrations and problems and challenges for running their business. And it's not just running their business profitably, it's even getting the most fundamental information about, I did 100,000 transactions yesterday. How many of them am I actually going to collect money for? I can't run a business if I can't answer very simple questions like that. So almost any merchant in this space will tell you there's an acute need for something better, that they can't invest and profitably grow a business. And if they can't, then that means venture capitalists won't invest in this space. That's not good for anybody in the space. So the way we've been able to gain momentum is really by coming in and fundamentally addressing, first, that we're neutral. Second, that we are hitting the fundamentals of financial processing. We're not trying to be everything. We don't run storefronts. I don't go get content for people. I am your financial processor. We try to do that at a level of excellence that this space hasn't seen before. And we've been getting great traction with it. We're by far the fastest growing provider in the U.S. market. We've quadrupled our revenue in the last 12 months in a space that's probably only growing about 20% a year. And our message volume and our value processed has gone up more than 800% in the last year.
Okay, so how do you generate revenue? Where do you find
we make our money,
a piece of the pie?
Yeah, it's a great question. We make our money all on transaction fees. So the cost of a merchant joining the OpenMarket network is very low, a low basic monthly fee. We only make money if merchants are sending a lot of volume through us. So if they aren't being successful as businesses, then I'm not going to be successful as a business. Our whole business is built on making it the most efficient processing platform for them and then having them grow their business successfully. If they don't achieve that, I can't win. So that's the way we make our money, and that's what we've been able to achieve successfully so far.
Right. Well, that's fantastic. My last question for you is, What is it that you're looking to, I guess, convey to the marketers that are here today? I mean, we're at a mobile marketing, event, and
yeah. Well, there's a lot of this space is really at a crossroads right now, because I think compared to 2 years ago when all the growth was just rampant and people are realizing that if something fundamental doesn't change, this space is likely to stall. And if it stalls, it will be bypassed by others. There's more competitive pressure than ever from leading players on the internet coming into the mobile space that threaten the role the operator has in the value chain.
Right.
There's alternative payment models that threaten the role the operator bill plays in the value chain. And there's an opportunity right now that won't be here forever to say, let's move this industry forward to a whole new model. Our really agenda is working very aggressively with our customers, the content partners, and with the operators to draw a blueprint for what that model needs to look like. The thing that has been missing so far, and I think the reason the industry kind of got in the mess it's in some ways today, to be candid, is because no one's been providing a blueprint that the operators themselves can embrace.
Right.
They've had to fill a vacuum. If there's problems with billing, there's problems with customer care, each operator independently has tried to fill that vacuum by changing policies, technologies, whatever.
Right.
We're trying to be a catalyst for providing a blueprint that they can works for them and also works for merchants and bridge that gap.
You're trying to be like Switzerland.
We're trying to be the Switzerland, the Switzerland of financial processing.
Wonderful. Well, that's great. Steve, thank you so much
Thanks
for joining us today.
Glad to speak with you.
We're here at the Mobile Marketing Association's Forum. I've been speaking with Steve Shivers of OpenMarket, and I'm Michelle Sklar with bnetTV.com.